Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the workshop. It is fantastic to have you here because we are doing part 15 of working on a sword breaker.
Really, it's part 9 though.
Because we broke it on part 6.
Yep.
So this is part 15 of 2 sword breakers. Hey, they get a 2-for-1.
Wow.
2 sword breakers in 1 series?
What a deal.
Speaking of deals, before we jump in, let's thank today's sponsor. Today's sponsor is Squarespace, which is the online website building platform that makes it extremely easy to build your own beautiful website today. Thank you, Squarespace, for sponsoring the video. You guys can get yourself a free trial at squarespace.com/forge, as well as 10% off your first purchase using code FORGE.
So I'm gonna go ahead and even out the sides on this, which we unevened out in the last video. Do some chamfering, do some finishing. It's gonna be a good time.
While he's doing that, I'm going to be running upstairs. I'm going to be getting rid of the gold that's on top of the pommel and then refinishing it back down and getting the pommel finished and ready for bluing if we decide to blue, which we probably will. So we're both going to do that. So Will, would you care to share with the world the thrill and enjoyment that you're having working on this right now?
Exactly. So have you guys ever been on a seesaw with someone who weighed the exact same amount as you and you just bounce back and forth?
Without touching the ground?
That's what it's like trying to finish the inside of here, because I'll finish this side and then I'll switch to the other side and scratch this side again. Then I'll go to refinish this side and I'll scratch this side. And then I'll go back to refinish this side and I'll scratch. You get what I'm saying? It's 2 steps forwards, 2 steps back.
It's just like walking through an endless tunnel of misery.
It's like walking up an escalator that's going the other direction and you're walking at the same speed as that escalator.
And then you pick up a little bit of pace, but then the escalator picks up some more pace, and so you go down even faster because you were trying even harder.
Yes.
It's endless misery. Isn't making things enjoyable all of the time?
Well, you know what they say, Alec, if you do the thing that you love, you never work a day in your life. That is wrong. Absolutely wrong.
You can work and have fun, but work is not always fun, and that is an example of it. I'm gonna go do some sunbathing, and I'll let you get back to that.
Thanks. Classic.
While Will suffers away finishing off the last few details of the guard, it is time to twist some wire so that once he has finished those details, I can run upstairs with the guard and start cutting and engraving and doing some inlay, at which time he'll be able to use this twisted wire. So, we need 120 feet of this stuff. This is 27 gauge wire. We're gonna clamp it in this vise. That's a vise that Fireball Tools sells. Jason, our friend at Fireball Tools. And I wouldn't be surprised if the same coupon code that you can use to get yourself a discount on these amazing squares that he sells, I wouldn't be surprised if that same coupon code might even get you a discount for this this here vise. We do get a little kickback, so when you use code FORGE and you get that discount, we get something too, so be sure to go check him out, Fireball Tool. We need 2 60-feet pieces?
Yeah.
Half in one direction, half in the other?
Yeah. You do a herringbone pattern running down the handle.
What have we got ourselves into? We need to cut 2 60-foot long pieces, bend those 60-foot long pieces in half, twist one way, and one the other. Like taking a very unenthusiastic dog for a walk. Would you say this is 60 feet? I should have paced it out. Do you want to just walk?
That'll be good.
Here we go, clockwise. Looking really good. That twisted amazingly evenly. I feel like it might want a little bit more twisting. I think it's pretty good now. All right, on to the next one. We span that one clockwise, I believe, so we're gonna measure out another 60 foot and spin it the other way. All right, good to go. So I'm just looking at them next to each other, and I'm lining them up at one thumbnail and then seeing if the twists match over a certain distance. Keep it coming. I think it's pretty dang close.
Senor Steele.
Senor Stelter.
It's Stetler, actually.
Ah,
Just
sorry.
kidding, no it's not. That was a lie.
Thing is, I feel bad now, because now it sounds like we're ripping on John. We're not. It was about the funniest thing ever, though. It was brilliant.
So,
Step love!
we've got an issue or two. One issue, actually. Well, no, lots of issues. But the main issue that we're about to talk about right now is that we've got to finish the blade before we can do the gold inlay on the guard. And the reason that we have to finish the blade first is because when we etch this Damascus, that acid is gonna eat away a little bit of the material, which means that it's gonna lose probably about 1/1000th to 2/1000ths of an inch off of the total kind of width, thickness of the blade, which means that we will no longer have a tight fit up here. So we etch the blade, we finish the blade, we do our maker's marks, then we refit the guard. It'll involve just the slightest amount of like super light peening just to close up any of those gaps. Refinish the top of the guard, and then we can do the gold inlay, but it can't happen until then.
So you're saying we still have to hammer on the guard some more?
Yes.
So we can't put gold inlay in yet?
No, we can't. No, we cannot. Not even a little bit. We can't even do it a little bit. Basically, any hammering on the top of the guard would mess up the gold way worse than the steel. It's going to want to move a lot easier. So we've really got to do all the finishing before we move on to the gold.
I can't believe how bad we are at making stuff.
Ugh.
Oh no! Well, I could always start the gold inlay somewhere else, just not on the face of it.
We're not going to etch the blade. We're going to leave it as is. Gonna make it look like a mono steel piece.
No, we're gonna etch this. So let's just etch this. Get this done this afternoon.
All right.
I'm gonna have a look at this. While you prep that for etch, I'm gonna have a look at this, and I'm gonna plan out some inlay, and I'm gonna work out and make a plan for what it is that we can do.
A rotary tool and clean up some of the areas that need cleaned up.
I can do
Inside
that.
of this.
I will get in there. More cleanup on this.
More sanding on this. So while that's etching, I'm gonna go ahead and take a little bit of material off of the top of the handle. Because we had to adjust the thickness of the guard, that means we also have to adjust the thickness of the handle so that it's not, you know, squooshing out, you know what I'm saying? So I forgot that we had a knife in the acid. Nope, it's still here, we're okay. Uh-oh, got ourselves a little problem area here. Oh my gosh. This is some nice steel. Let's go show Alec the old problem area. It looks like it's either a really big chunk of like 1080 or like some weld bead in one spot in here, right near the tip. It looks like it goes all the way through the tile. What do you think? The rest of the steel looks fantastic, by the way. Come on, that looks pretty good.
It does look freaking awesome. It just goes the whole way through, right? It's like it was in the tile.
Yeah.
Because there's like another bit here where it's pretty bold, but that doesn't at all look like a problem. I wonder whether it's a fluke of the pattern or if it's like a TIG weld.
I have no idea.
It's sad that it's there.
Just a slight aesthetic bump.
This is super nice.
Super cool.
Super cool pattern.
So my next step here is to go ahead and give this a nice buff over the whole thing, brighten it up a little bit, and then I'm gonna go ahead and etch our maker's marks in there before we go into the instant coffee for the contrasting black and white etch.
So the idea with the buff is like our top layer, that 15N20 is gonna have a mirror polish to it, right?
It'll be shiny.
Gonna be shiny.
Shiny, shiny.
Shiny.
You ever see a pattern and you just think, man, I just want to leave this thing shiny because it looks unbelievable, because that's kind of how I feel about this.
I want to see it after coffee.
We can always...
I'm such a fan of contrast.
We can always
It does look good. I think we aim for the normal contrasty, but I can certainly see where you're coming from in that this looks beautiful with that much shine. While Will is working on that, I can tell you a little bit about what it is that I've done so far. Finished up cleaning up the guard. It is looking good. Everything but that front face, which obviously Will still has to hammer on after we etch the blade, it's pretty much ready to go. So, we want this thing blued. I started thinking about where it is that we're going to be doing gold inlay. I started messing with a Sharpie on it, and I've kind of settled on the fact that I'm not going to know where I want to put the gold inlay without getting a feel for how this thing looks blued. So I'm going to take the guard. I'm also going to take the pommel. We're going to put some cold blue on them. We're going to get the color that they're going to end up having before I decide where on the guard the inlay goes. This is crazy awesome. Crazy awesome. Okay, now time to blue the guard. Oh. Ta-da! Well, despite all the trials, tribulations, setbacks, tears, it's looking beautiful.
Hot gosh, yes it is. Time to electro etch our maker's marks into the blade using this little stencil and some electricity. The blade has finished etching and it is looking nice.
After having blued the guard and put the sword breaker together, firstly, it's looking amazing. Secondly, I think I've worked out where I want the gold inlay. To line up with the gold inlay that's up here, visible on this side, I want to put some gold inlay on the sides of our guard lugs or guard quillions. And so we're going to do 4 triangular pieces of inlay. I'm going to run back upstairs.
Okay, we're gonna prepare this handle for wire wrapping with a little bit of Renaissance wax. It's a microcrystalline wax polish. It'll just seal it up, make sure that this wood doesn't really move too much or anything like that. And then we'll move on to drilling some holes for the 2 different wires to go in. So we can secure them down as we are wrapping it around the rest of the handle. We're gonna have to drill a couple holes here to be able to put that wire in. I'm gonna oversize it by about 2/1000 of an inch so that it'll actually fit in. Should work pretty dang well. Got 2 wires here. And go ahead and steal a sample of a little bit off of both of them. Nice, that fits good. So based off of where I drilled those holes, I'm gonna be able to carve a little channel in between the hole and the start of a flute there. And so this wire will sit flush below the top level of the handle basically, which means that we'll be able to still have that nice fit up against the guard, and we'll be able to have the wire hit kind of the edge of the handle and start wrapping its way around right at the very top of this flute. Go around like that. Perfect. That'll press in nice and tight. Oh yeah, that'll work just fine. Okay, I'm gonna start off by super gluing in the ends of these wires just so that they're held securely inside those little holes. And then we'll bend it over, wipe off that excess. Great. We'll do the same on this side. Give it a little activation. All right, That is now on there. Now I fit a bunch of different sized washers onto this little piece of threaded rod that we've been using, and that should make it so that we can get a nice tight close fit up on the rest of the wrap. All right, let's see, give this a shot. Oh! So I dropped the handle. Oh! Oh my gosh. I might need to scrap all of this wire.
What happened? That looks awesome!
It looks, I had it, Alec, to like right.
What?
I had it to like right
That
there.
looks amazing!
Isn't that sweet? You know it,
Oh no.
how good it looked before?
Oh no.
Oh yeah.
Oh no.
Oh yeah. Okay, so we're pretty dang close to the end. I'm gonna go ahead and cut this with plenty of slack left, just so I know I'm not gonna run out of wire. And then we'll go ahead and carve ourselves some slots in order to be able to finish this thing off. Make sure we got this thing good and in place. I do not want that wire coming undone. Go ahead and head on upstairs. We need your micro loader.
Yes. Before.
Because we need to drill holes, very small holes. First one right there. Second one right there.
Happy with that?
Yeah, that should do it. Sweet. Now let's back these guys out just a little bit, get a dab of super glue in there, and then tighten them down. Tighten that one down. All right, hey, that's pretty good. So now that we've got it wrapped, I'm gonna go ahead and use this piece of hickory to press the wire into the flutes so it's a more defined patterning. How does that work so well? Oh heck. I just spotted a crossover like a third of the way up. So I think that might have been a accidental practice run. I'm just not happy with how loose it is. I did my best to wrap it as tight as I could, but there's still a lot of movement in there. That's just not good enough. So let me go ahead and undo this and then redo it. Woo!
God is finished. Holy moly, that was a long day of gold inlay. But the gold is in. We have our triangles of gold.
That is fancy schmancy.
Beautiful little tapering triangles. It went well. I was able to fix all the mistakes that I made. I made plenty of them. We gotta put it on the sword, and then we're gonna show you that gold. Oh, what a great few days. Over the past few days of making this progress, holy moly, have we made a lot of just that.
It's really, really funny because the ending kind of really snuck up on us. I was thinking like, great, we've got like 2 weeks of work left on it.
I know, I'm so sad. I'm thinking to myself, okay, here we go. Soul Breaker, it's gonna keep going. We've got so much more work to do. And then in one day, in just a few hours, 20 minutes ago, we think to ourselves and go, wait, it's almost done.
Alec's got to finish off the garden pommel, and I've got to tie the Turk's heads for the finials of the handle.
We gotta sharpen the blade and it's done. So be sure to subscribe and stay tuned for the last and final installment of this Sword Breaker. The second one. Before we finish the video though, let's thank today's sponsor. Today's sponsor has been Squarespace. They allow people like you or me who might not have any idea how to code. I definitely fall into that category. I have no idea how to code websites, but they allow me to build my own very easily. So I hopped on there because I wanted to add a new page. I wanted to add a new page about the sponsors that we have on the show, and it didn't take me a whole lot of time to come up with this. So here's my Squarespace website, and this is the page that I've just made up. It is a sponsors page. And of course, since it's Squarespace, it was super easy to build, and it ends up looking way more professional than I could possibly imagine. It even has a contact form at the bottom so people can get in touch, as well as some different links to showcase the different sponsors we work with. And the best thing is, of course, since it's built with Squarespace, it scales beautifully onto a mobile phone. I'm surprised every time I modify something on that website, how easy it is to make it look clean, simple, beautiful, has a nice aesthetic. They have a whole load of themes to choose from, and of course, it working on mobile so seamlessly is one of the phenomenal and very unique features about Squarespace. So if you want to build a website that's going to be the real hub of your business and the backbone to it, please go to squarespace.com/forge. You're going to get a free trial, so you can try Squarespace, you can see how you like it, and then you get 10% off your first purchase when you use code FORGE at checkout. Thank you to Squarespace so much for sponsoring this video. Thank you guys for supporting our sponsors and building yourselves some great websites. Can't wait to see you on the next one. Bye-bye.